Hey everybody, welcome back to another rant. Very short. Ready? Okay. So, not much happened this week in sports, as crazy as it is. I just needed to get my divisional predictions out. I mean, my NFC and AFC Championship games out there. So I'm going to spend 2 minutes talking about each. Then we're done, and then I'm going to do a few more NFL. This is an NFL-based rant. All right, ready? Here we go. NFC Championship. San Francisco 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So first off, let's just evaluate both teams. So starting with the 49ers and the Eagles, let's look at the quarterback position. So obviously the better quarterback's Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is an MVP finalist, one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the NFL, if not the best this season. He probably was the best this season in terms of his rushing touchdowns. I'm pretty sure he led all quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns, and he threw the lights out of the ball. And when you look at who's on the other side with Brock Purdy's obviously 7-0 as a starter, and he is I can't call him a really good quarterback, but he's been really good this year carrying the Niners to the NFC Championship, which is very hard to do as a rookie quarterback, let alone someone who was not expected to start ever in the NFL. That's not what seventh-round picks are drafted for. Keep looking at the teams. Both the Niners and the Eagles have really strong rushing attacks. The Niners obviously spearheaded by Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel, who could do it all. And then they got Elijah Mitchell, who had a great game against Dallas last week. And then you look more into it, and they're a really hard team to stop, especially when Purdy just doesn't make the mistakes because they're a run-first team. But at the same time, Samuel and Kittle and McCaffrey, they all can produce in the passing game. And then you look at the Eagles in the rushing attack. It's spearheaded by Hurts and Miles Sanders. Again, both of these have dual or triple threats in the run game. And a big difference here is when you look at the defensive side of the ball, the Niners are around the top in stopping the run. The Eagles are in the mid-20s. And that could be a very big thing when it comes to it. And that's why the 49ers, in order to win this game, will need to run the ball. And that's a given. The Eagles will need to pass the ball. Both teams have a top 5 ranked pass defense. And that's what gets me to the wide receivers before I talk about the defenses a bit more. Niners obviously loaded with receiving weapons: Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Joanne Jennings, but I don't know why I'm saying Joanne Jennings before George Kittle or Brandon Ayuk. And then you look at the Eagles, probably one of the best 1-2 punches in the league in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. The biggest difference here comes down to the defense and which defense performs better or which offense performs better against a better defense, because the Eagles have the number 1 pass defense of the league and the Niners are top 5. There are so many things that keeps going into this. The Niners defense was the number 2 ranked defense by PFF. The Eagles were top 10. I am going to go in this game. I am going to go San Francisco 24, Philadelphia 23. I really, really do think it's a 1-point game. And I think it's a 1-point game, and I think that San Francisco, even with Brock Purdy and the quarterback discrepancy, will win this game. I think San Francisco's a better team overall, and the fact that the Eagles aren't so great at stopping the run means that San Francisco should be able to pound it down their throats. And if they're not able to, that'll be the reason why the Eagles win this game. You could come back to this video. If the Eagles are able to stop the run, then their pass defense will do the rest of the work. But I do think the Niners will be able to run the ball well with Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Elijah Mitchell. I think that Kyle Shanahan's going to come up with a lot of creative solutions for this Philadelphia defense that throws a lot at you and has many different pass rushers. But I do think the 49ers win. I think the 49ers win 24-23, and it's a close one. I think Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts play pretty equally. I could even see Jalen Hurts having a better game, but the Niners are just the better team, and I think it shows. Great. And now the second game, Kansas City versus Cincinnati. Okay, so should Cincinnati be favored in this game? I don't know. It's Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead. But at the same time, Joe Burrow's 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. The Bengals have won the last 3 games against the Chiefs, and they beat them in the same exact situation last week. And I just do not want to count out the Bengals. That's been their mantra the entire year. People have been counting them out. People have almost forgotten about them. At the start of the year, a lot of people picked the Ravens to win the division, and the Bengals just kept going. Last week, they were a 5.5-point underdog against the Bills, and they kept going. Joe Burrow's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. That defense is vastly improved. But when you look at the other side with the Chiefs defense is also vastly improved, especially their front seven. Their front seven, spearheaded by Chris Jones, has really, really improved in the second half of the season. And it's really going to come down to the quarterback battle. I think Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow are the top 2 quarterbacks in the league right now, especially the top 2 quarterbacks remaining in the playoffs. And what skill positions are going to do better? Is Jamar Chase going to carry this game? T. Higgins had over 100 yards in this matchup last year in the AFC Championship. How is Travis Kelce going to have another insane game where he puts up 14 receptions? There's really a lot of variables with this. and it's two of the top offenses in the league and two of the very improving defenses in the league. Both of them, their front sevens, and the Bengals secondary has been great, and the Chiefs has been okay. My score prediction, I think it's going to be Kansas City 34, Cincinnati 21. I think that Patrick Mahomes finally gets his revenge, and Patrick Mahomes has been waiting 3 years to get back to the Super Bowl, or 2 years to get back to the Super Bowl after an embarrassing loss to Tom Brady, and I don't think it's stopping him. I understand the ankle injury, and it sort of scares me, but I think that the Chiefs are a better team. I think the Chiefs, outside of the wide receivers, have better skill positions. And running back, I think Joe Mixon's better than Isaiah Pacheco, but at the same time, Isaiah Pacheco was great last week. I think that this is a Patrick Mahomes game, and I think Patrick Mahomes will struggle against a vastly improved Bengals pass rush, but at the same time, it's tough. It's tough for Joe Burrow against this front seven. I think it will be a high-scoring game, but I do think the Bengals only score 21 points, and I think the Chiefs will win this game 34-21. I think it's just Patrick Mahomes' it's time to shine. He's the best player in football right now, and it'll show. Cool. So there's 6 minutes. Those are my two predictions, and I could go more in depth, but I think I just went pretty in depth with it. And yeah, the one other thing I wanted to talk about was Nathaniel Hackett, who the Jets just hired as an offensive coordinator. There's been a lot on the coaching carousel, so I'm going to talk more about this in another video once I get to it. But look at Nathaniel Hackett, and besides the Russell Wilson thing, which is not a great argument because Russell Wilson was his first head coaching job with the Broncos, and he really botched it. Nathaniel Hackett has coached Aaron Rodgers, and outside of that, what good quarterbacks has he coached as an offensive coordinator? Kyle Orton, Blake Bortles. There hasn't been a lot of guys. And this is why I don't mind the hire, because Nathaniel Hackett's not going to impede his legacy. Many people thought he'd take a year off after such a bad 2022 season. But now he's coming back. He knows the quarterback he wants to deal with, and that might be Aaron Rodgers. It might be Derek Carr. He wants a good quarterback. He's not gonna try to risk his career. He could be making millions on the beach right now, but he's going to the Jets, and he has a quarterback in mind, and I'll tell you right now, it's Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets will do whatever it takes to get him. I don't think they're gonna get him, but we'll see. Here, I'm gonna put more on this after. I think there's good and bad in this, though. The bad is Nathaniel Hackett comes with that stigma. Oh, he broke Russell Wilson. Oh, he was one of the worst head coaches in the NFL, if not the worst. He was the worst last season. He was one of the worst in recent memory, and there's definitely some bads, but the good, he led Aaron Rodgers to 2 MVPs, but again, when there's a good quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, how much of that's the offensive coordinator? He wants to work with Saleh. He brings in speculation that the Jets will bring in a good quarterback, so I definitely think there are some good hires. So I will come back to that in a coaching carousel update soon. But predictions, Kansas City over Cincinnati, 34-21. San Francisco over Philadelphia, 24-23. Let's see if I go 2-2. Like and subscribe. I'm also putting a TikTok channel down. It's Jake Rants, probably. But we'll see. So wait for me to get more contact. But enjoy championship weekend, guys. I'll post another rant soon.